But no, it is not important for us to do a lot of it if we could be certain that the whole thing would happen at enough scale. And so there's a lot of places where with partnerships, we can drive like huge
And that
progress.
It was like no risk that we lost part of it.
Yeah.
On the energy side, are we going to just consume humongous amounts of energy? Is that going to be basically the only end state here?
I mean, I sure hope so. Like, I think that the thing that has most correlated with improvements in quality of life over history is increasing abundance of energy. I have no reason to believe that's going to stop.
Is there any like climate concern with that? Or are you just like, that's all going to get figured out?
Well,
and it's like the least of our worries?
I think fusion will happen and fission, new kinds of fission will happen. And
how confident are you on fusion? Are you totally confident on it?
I never say totally, but pretty confident, like quite confident.
And that becomes like a huge percentage of
I think so.
Energy.
But like next gen fission stuff is awesome too.
Yeah.
Like I know most of this company called Oklo, but there's other companies I think doing great work, and like that's a huge win.
Yeah.
Solar and storage seems pretty good, but I hope that eventually humanity is consuming way more energy than we could ever be generating on Earth.
Yeah.
Even if we switch entirely to fusion, like at some point, if you scaled up Earth's current energy use by a factor of 10 or 100 or whatever, you're just like heating up the Earth too much from the waste heat.
Right. Yeah.
But we got a big solar system out there.
Doesn't all this stuff that we're talking about mean that like space is both like really important and becomes more likely in general?
Yes.
Like we're going to space.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Kind of sad if we don't.
Yeah. It seems like that it's funny.
Should I make a rocket company?
I told you that I thought you should make a rocket company.
That's
There's a
why
bunch
I
of things
asked.
I think you should. I don't know why not.
What else is on the list?
I have a whole lot of things on the list for you. I would do rocket. I would do social. I would do as many as you could, basically. Why not?
I kind of like doing one thing. I like my family. I'm pretty busy already.
Yeah. Speaking of social, actually, can I ask you about the whole meta scale thing?
Of course.
So what's the situation there?
Look, I've heard that Meta thinks of us as their biggest competitor. And, I think it is rational for them to keep trying. Their current AI efforts have not worked as well as they've hoped. And I respect like being aggressive and continuing to try new things. And again, given that I think this is like rational, I expect that if this one doesn't work out, they'll keep trying new ones after that. I remember once hearing Zuck talk about how, Google in the early days of Facebook, it was rational for them to try social, even though it was like clear to people at Facebook that was not going to work. And I feel a little bit similar here, but they started making these like giant offers to, a lot of people on our team, like $100 million signing bonuses, more than that comp per year.
That's crazy.
And it is crazy. I'm really happy that at least so far, none of our best people have decided to take them up on that. I think that people sort of look at the two paths and say, all right, OpenAI's got a really good shot, a much better shot at actually delivering on super intelligence, and also may eventually be the more valuable company. But I think the strategy of a ton of upfront guaranteed comp, and that being the reason you tell someone to join, like really the degree to which they're focusing on that and not the work and not the mission, I don't think that's going to set up a great culture. And, I hope that we can be the best place in the world to do this kind of research. I think we built a really special culture for it. And I think that we're set up such that if we succeed at that, and a lot of people on our research team believe we will, or we have a good chance at it, then everybody will do great financially. And I think it's incentive aligned with like mission first and then economic rewards and everything else flowing from that. So I think that's good. There's many things I respect about Meta as a company, but I don't think they're a company that's like great at innovation. And I think the special thing about OpenAI